I'm not looking for a deal. I mean, we've set the deal. It's at 50%.
Of the lowest levels on record amid a fierce trade war. Yesterday, President Trump said he's ready to make a deal.
We strongly regret the announced increase of steel tariffs from 25% to 50% by the US. We believe that this decision adds further uncertainty to the global economy.
Europe just paused a $43 billion Boeing deal, and Canada is stepping into America's role. A $2 trillion trade link is moving north, and President Trump, he's firing back hard. But here's the question no one in Washington wants to answer. Is America being sidelined, or is Trump delivering a wake-up call that's long overdue? Let's break down what just happened, why Canada's winning, and what Trump's next move means for the U.S. economy. Comment below. Is Trump right to push back, or is he pushing allies away? Within just 48 hours of President Trump's surprise tariff hike, a sweeping 50% tax on European cars and industrial equipment, the European Union responded with force. They didn't just protest. They froze a $43 billion aircraft order from Boeing, one of America's last industrial giants. This wasn't a delay. It was a deliberate strike. European airlines, including Ryanair, suspended talks. Boeing's stock took a hit. Meanwhile, Airbus, Europe's own plane maker, surged. Make no mistake, this wasn't just economic retaliation. It was a warning shot, a signal to Washington that Europe won't tolerate trade threats. Not anymore. At stake is far more than one plane contract. This is about the entire foundation of transatlantic trade, a network worth almost $2 trillion every year. And now, it's being rerouted, not through Washington, but through Ottawa. Under a trade agreement called CETA, the Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement between Canada and the European Union, commerce is exploding. Since 2022, Canada-EU trade has jumped over 70%. By 2026, it's expected to hit $90 billion annually. This is more than a surge, it's a shift. Europe is moving its money, its contracts, and its trust north. And that should concern every American. From the Oval Office, Trump didn't hold back. If Europe keeps weaponizing trade, he said, we'll find better partners. Behind the scenes, his team is rushing to respond. Export tax cuts, new manufacturing hubs in the South, emergency talks with Brussels. Trump's message is simple. America is the leader, and leaders don't blink. But the clock is ticking, and every day of delay means lost deals, lost jobs, and lost leverage. Why is Europe choosing Canada? Because CETA isn't a minor treaty. It's a powerhouse. It eliminates 98% of tariffs. It streamlines regulations, and it opens doors to energy, agriculture, clean tech, and aerospace. In 2024 alone, over $75 billion in goods flowed through this corridor. And now, European companies are choosing to expand those deals, with Canadian partners, not American ones. Canada isn't a backup plan. It's becoming the main route. Why? Because it's seen as stable, predictable, and aligned with European standards. No tariff shocks, no sudden tweets, no overnight reversals. That's what foreign partners want, and it's what the US is no longer offering. Quick reminder, if you care about protecting American industry, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Should Trump keep pushing or find a new path forward? Meanwhile, the EU is escalating. They've proposed $107 billion in tariffs, targeting Boeing, whiskey, machinery, and cars. All areas where the US dominates. And it's not just threats. Europe has already filed a formal complaint with the World Trade Organization, accusing the US of breaking trade norms. In Brussels, this isn't just defense, it's strategy. They're not waiting to be cornered again. Across industries, European buyers are quietly shifting contracts to Canadian firms, pharmaceuticals, agriculture, precision tech. And this isn't just about Canada, it's a blueprint. Europe is now using the CETA model to draft similar deals with India, the UAE, and parts of Africa. The goal? Build a global trade web that doesn't depend on US leadership. The world is watching America, and many are hedging their bets. Back home, the damage is mounting. In Texas, Michigan, and Iowa, key export hubs, farmers and manufacturers are sounding the alarm. A recent survey showed U.S. exports to the EU dropped by 12% this year. Meanwhile, Canada's rose by 19%. Those aren't just numbers. That's a shift in direction. And in Congress, Trump allies are calling for emergency hearings. One senator warned, "We're quietly losing global leadership." It's not about tariffs, it's about trust. The aerospace sector is on red alert. Ryanair and several EU airlines are actively reviewing their Boeing contracts. And reports say they've already held early talks with Comac, China's rising aviation competitor. If Boeing loses even 15% of its European business, analysts warned it could crumble America's entire aviation edge. That's not speculation. That's risk on the table right now. And it's why Boeing executives are pushing the White House for clarity, consistency, and diplomacy before those planes take off from foreign runways. Inside Trump's trade war room, 3 options are on the table. Massive tax breaks for exporters to offset lost revenue. Emergency diplomatic missions to repair ties with Brussels expanding U.S. manufacturing to anchor jobs at home. Trump's bet is bold, that a strong U.S. will draw the world back in. But he knows the window is closing. Because Europe didn't just retaliate, they rerouted $2 trillion in trade through Canada. This isn't just a pivot, it's a rewrite of the map. The U.S. is standing at a crossroads. One path leads to more tariffs, more isolation. The other? Negotiation, restoration, leadership. And Trump? He's not done yet. As the global economy redraws its lines, America faces a choice: lead the shift or be left behind. Because in global trade, you're either at the table or on the menu.